3, 2, 1, and we're live. Hello all, welcome back to the INVICTUS stream. My name, as always, is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and I am here with my sexual friend, Chris. Oh, I know where you've been put that, Pinky. My jumping for joy friend, Justin. My maniacal friend, Mycl.
Maniacal finger.
And we are here with Dragon Age 2, Part 10, guys. This is the finality.
Still jumping.
Justin's still jumping. All right, you
So
take
much joy.
You do what you got to do.
Sorry about
Guys, this is the end, my friends. The only end, my friends. This is the one that all the people will remember for years and years to come. And I'm not just saying people who watch the stream. I'm saying all the people.
Let me tell you a story, grandson.
Where were you when Dragon Age Part 10 happened?
Once upon a time, there were these 4 idiots from Canada before we annexed it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the INVICTUS stream. I don't say that enough. I always say welcome back to the INVICTUS stream, but I never just say welcome to the INVICTUS
Because it could be their first time.
That's right. So welcome to us. Hope you don't run through us. I'm excited to be here, guys. This is going to be a really cool last episode. It is, of course, an 18-plus show. So if you feel like you can't handle a few no-no words, such as fucking boobies, then go ahead and shut the YouTube video. But most importantly, oh, that's right. Thank you, Mycl. But most importantly, I want you to go ahead and smash. Oh. No, don't smash. Please like that button. I was watching this really annoying YouTuber the other day for some reason. It was on Cringe or something. And he's doing his vlog. He's like, so you go ahead and smash that like button, boys. And I just quoted it subconsciously, and that really bothers me. So like it if you could, please. Yeah. Please like it if you could. If not, then that's okay. Just explain to us in detail, paragraphed form, why you didn't like us.
Or just huge all over it. Make it look like a plasterer's radio.
Yeah, plasterer's radio. Oh, God. Ladies and gentlemen, this is I don't have my notes. I don't know what order to do this in, so I'm just going to go ahead and say join our Facebook group. And like the Facebook page. These are the 2 most important things we do. All of our communication goes through our Facebooks, so please go ahead and follow us on those. Also, if you are a Twitter, go ahead and tweet us at INVICTUS Stream. We respond to tweets almost within 72 hours. 2 a week. That's the time frame. If we respond at all. So that's sort of the whole thing. What else? Well, let's throw it to Mycl for MVP. Mycl, what's the MVP this week?
Thank you, Harlan. As always, we had some pretty spectacular posts by those of you that have joined our Facebook group, because if you haven't, do that now. Just stop what you're doing, get on Facebook, join the group, then get back to us. Anyway, a few posts that were of particular interest. Number 1. Aisha D. Lyle and her board game insert post, because I like organization, not to the point where Aisha and Mark Lane do, but it's pretty fantastic. So when you got those little boxes of games and game components, Aisha makes her own little inserts to keep everything nice and organized. It's yeah, just like that, just like Justin's finger and finger action.
I was going to say, you also like inserting things, so it's sort of a double whammy for you.
It is nice. The other one actually is also Aisha D. Lyle. I don't know if you guys saw her post with the shout out to her brother and the glasses, the mugs that Maya had made.
That was
beautiful.
Call of Cthulhu ones. Did you see?
I was a little more.
I saw the glasses. How did they make it? Did it show?
I think he carved them.
Is it involved like the
his
laser?
Teeth. He just etches with his teeth.
Wow.
He just grinds his teeth on a sharp stone.
I can barely chew.
Well, you need to go to the dentist, my friend.
And the next one was Greg Bush, and following on Spooky Game Night, which you can catch Harlan playing Spooky Game Night every Friday night and join in the conversation. Following up on Spooky Game Nights, Greg was looking for recommendations on Asian horror films. Horror films.
Yeah, not horror.
Also, we have Evan Jones. As we know, this time of year can be tough for a lot of people. And Evan Jones actually made a nice post. Evan Jones has he's sort of one of the bards of the group and has a lot of like background stories and in-depth.
He is a part of the group. That's
Like
cool.
Beetle.
He really is a part of the group.
I never thought of that.
Oh.
Anyway, he had a post on holding on to moments of happiness, and I think it's a really important thing because we all go through phases. Life fluctuates between good and bad, and the sun will always rise after the darkness, all that sort of stuff. But it was a nice post, and just about holding on to those small moments of happiness.
Like Wednesday nights for us.
Like Wednesday nights for us.
Which are the dark days, of course.
Oh, right. We know it'll end eventually.
So who won then, Mr.
That's
Mike?
an excellent question. This week's MVP goes to Greg Bush. Recommendation horror films.
Mr. Bush Boy, my favorite. The winner of the beard contest.
The Bush baby.
Yeah, with the Bush baby. That sounds... it's interesting. Thank you, Mike, for doing the MVP, and thank you guys. If you don't know what MVP is, get with the times. No, but it's the most valuable post. The person or persons who post throughout the week on the community group page on the Facebook group. That the post maybe inspired the community. It's created a sense of conversation and had a bit of fun to it. There's no real rule other than it sort of moves us in a way. Sometimes negative, sometimes positive. So this is to encourage people to share stories and share advice and share your favorite INVICTUS episode and sort of create a sense of community so that people will comment and want to talk. So well done, guys. If you want to be a part of the MVP, just be a part of the community. And I love that. I don't know why it never clicked to me, but these are the bards. We have bards in our group. We have archetypes within our group, and I would say I just quickly jotted down: Hunter, Olson, Evan, Rich, Brianna, and Galen, I would say are our 5 bards, because I know each of them have posted writings. Each of them have posted, I think Hunter's posted a song. I think Brianna's just recently posted writings, and I know Galen constantly posts writings. So I would say these are the bards. And I was just thinking, like, cleric, I think Aisha, and I think Chris Lawrence, and Brianna, I think Bob, and who else?
Brianna?
No, I'd say she's more of a bard because she's more like.
Bard? Who am I
She's the one.
Lauren.
Oh, Lorraine. Yeah.
Lorraine.
No, for sure. Lorraine, cleric, 100%. So there's like these archetypes. So who do you fit into in the INVICTUS group?
Ooh, what's your
What
role?
is your role?
You know what? Make a post. Someone make a post.
Yeah,
Like,
I kinda wanna know that.
Where do you see yourself?
Yeah, make a post. You know what? We should have like factions, like split
Ooh.
people into 4. Like every rogue comment under
Guilds.
or every
Guilds.
warrior. Yeah, I like this. Guilds. Oh yeah, guilds.
The
Fucking
blue
cool.
guild, the purple guild, the red guild, and
The red guild. Well, then I call rogues or charismatic creatures of sorts. I guess
I
bards.
call whatever's against that group.
Warriors. I don't know, what would the talkative guild be? I guess
The rogues, I'd say.
Bards works.
bards might be more.
Bards is
appropriate.
like I would put bards under rogue though.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we should have broad categories like rogue, warrior, mage, and then whatever, and then like subcategories. Like I'm a cleric. I'm a I don't know. Someone figure that out because that sounds cool. Oh, I just like that. No, but it's true, eh? We sort of have this like internal elitist like thing where we want to. It's like when we did the Harry Potter. What class are you? You know, I was like so excited to find out what I was in because you sort of want to be sorted a little bit. I don't know why, but as humans, we like being cliques. We like being categorized in some way. And obviously, there
Collective
are
ego is what it's about.
Is it?
The collective ego.
I think it's about combativeness,
You're right.
really.
And when you have a group of people that are in alignment and agreement that you're right, then you're like, look how right I am. We've got a whole bunch of
So it's
people
like
in
sort of
there.
like, you know, filling,
It's
surrounding
ego.
yourself with ignorance, people, like-minded people.
I'll
that
agree
all say
with you
this-
guys so I can fit in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's do that, and then let's battle. No, let's. I want to do guilds. So that sounds cool. Someone figure out guilds. Make a whole new post. Someone do research on it. Anyway, what are we doing again? Oh yeah, we're running. This is Dragon Age 10, guys. 2 years ago. The very first Invictus game ever, we did Dragon Age 1, where we met Grinner, Penth, and Imogen, 3 kooky characters from the world of Ferelden, and
That sounds
Wow.
like a 90s like
3 kooky characters
trailer.
living under one roof. No, but it's a long time coming, and these characters have had a life of their own, and it's exciting to see sort of where they come. They're sort of different dynamics and such like that. So it's really an exciting night. And a big thank you to Justin for really taking the reins, but in truth, for taking the reins the first time 2 years ago, as well as allowing us to step back into these roles.
That's true. He let us, like, what's that called? Cut our teeth? Is that
Yeah, he did. He let us cut off our teeth like Aisha's brother.
And etched glassware.
There you go. So it is going to be an exciting night tonight. So let's get fun. There is not, well, there would be a mid-game post sort of, but I don't really know how we're going to work it, because when this video is done, we are going to jump over to a new video, and it's going to be the post-game discussion for the entire Dragon Age 2 campaign. And we do a separate video for a number of reasons, but the easiest one is that we don't want to spoil it for people that might be watching, live, so they can start a whole new video. So that's part of the reason why. Also, it's just a little bit easier for us to manage that way. So if you have a question, under the events tab in our Facebook group, you will see an event for tonight. The first post, or the pinned post under that event, which again says Dragon Age Episode 10, is asking for questions. So if you have a question throughout this game that you might have thought of a long time ago, go ahead and post it there, because the minute we're done and we start the new video, I'm going to be reading off those questions for these guys and playing host, which I love doing so very much. Applause, please. No. Oh. And that's what's going to happen. Chris, don't you dare shake your head at me. I also want to mention that tomorrow night, we have a very special treat for you guys. And we sort of toyed around with doing a spooky game night tomorrow night, because I cannot do Friday night because we have a party actually over here, which the four of us are going to be at. So we can't do a Friday night. However, we are going to do a special stream tomorrow night. And originally we weren't going to do it, but the reason we're going to do it is we're going to be playing a game currently in beta, Friday the 13th, which is a multiplayer horror game, horror experience, where me, Chris, Justin, and our friend Roman, we're going to be playing and streaming a bit of that. And depending on how late that goes, because I know a few of these guys work the next day, I'm going to jump right over to Resident Evil 7, the trailer or the teaser, I guess, which they have released on Steam for free, so we can kind of get a taste of that. And that's going to be sort of a good hold me over until the new year, at least for me, because I want to play it. And frankly, that's the reason I'm pushing it up, because I downloaded Resident Evil 7 and I was like, I want to play this. I was even thinking last night, because I had some time, I was like, I could just start streaming and whoever watches is going to watch it. But I figure I'll give you a heads up for the people that do hang out with me and keep me company while the spooks creep up behind me. So tomorrow night, Friday the 13th, with the four of us, as well as Resident Evil 7, the teaser. Chris is so freaking scared. Admit it, Chris.
I don't want to. That's
a scared face. And I played a little bit of it just to test it and work. Pretty freaky. The music is really good.
I watched some videos on it. I'm not stressed so much as scared. Very scared.
At least he's honest. So yeah, join us tomorrow night. It's gonna be like 9:30. It's Alex's birthday tomorrow, so I'm going to his house for dinner, and then I don't know what time I'm gonna be back. So it's gonna be a bit loose, but you want to be there, you'll be there. If not, don't worry about it. I think that's it. I think we're ready to get into the game. Is there anything else?
No, I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah. I purposely stopped reading from my list because I find sometimes I just add useless shit. So I'd rather just talk for 17 minutes. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Dragon Age 2, Part 10. Yeah.
Let me tell you a story, Imogen. Baby in his arms, Rael paced calmly in front of the dimly lit wagon. The boy's mother was off at the bonfire with the rest of the clan, and not wanting the infant to be awakened by the commotion of the others, Rael opted to take him back to the carts. He was glad they were alone, as he'd been wanting to share with his son the insights he had gleaned from his visions. I didn't feel that the others were quite ready to accept these new truths he had uncovered. There was once a time, Rael started, when our people roamed and settled in any and all the lands of Thedas freely. Our lives were full and joyous, and the gods, powerful beings of great wisdom and talent, protected us, took care of us, held us elves in high esteem, and blessed us with traces of their own wisdom and magics. The baby, Imogen, shifted his arms as he continued to sleep soundly. Rael smiled at the boy and adjusted his hold to accommodate the baby's desired position. His expression, accented by sharp shadows, turned dour, however, as he continued his tale. Those days were stripped of us when our old gods, as we call them now, were forced out of Thedas by a new people. It was a plague of locusts multiplied and spread over the lands, leaving destruction and massacre in their wake. These people, we call them the Shemlin, forced us to the brink of existence, as our homes and lands were plundered for resources, burnt and cleared to build sprawling cities. No regard for the creatures and people that called those areas home was given, and those that protested the destruction of their habitats were executed without question. The sound of distant laughter traveled over from the bonfire, and Rael gritted his teeth. Centuries have passed since those days, and our people have been reduced to wandering bands, homeless, dwindling. There is still hope for us, though, my boy, as I have had a vision. One sent to me by Geldaurin himself, god of cleansing and righteousness. He intends to return to our people, to bring justice to the Shemlin, who for centuries have caused us such pain and suffering. I know it to be true, Imogen, for I have seen it. Those who follow him will receive his blessing once more, will live in the light, and embraced by his great wings will sing the name Geldaurin again. Those who do not take him into his hearts, however, those who oppose him, the Shemlin, the non-believers. He turned to gaze at the distant fire, shadows flickering around the flame as the rest of the clan continued their celebrations. They will know him by a different name. A name that declares that they shall receive in turn only what they have given. A name of death and destruction. They will tremble in waking nightmares, in utter fear of the one they will and will ever only know as Grindelwald. The red portal crackles and hums before you as you stand in the clearing, catching your breath from the bloody battle. Rael, the leader of the savage cult, director of Grindelwald's return, and Imogen's father, has just stepped through the portal and into the Fade, where Grindelwald awaits him in his true form. There's a moment of stillness before you and your fellow survivors gather close to discuss what your next move will be.
I'm still in the tent, right?
No, I think you stepped out of the tent as Rael stepped out as well. But your limbs are starting to come to as the paralysis begins to wear off.
All right, then I'm going to walk over to Penth, who I assume is covered in head to toe with blood.
My own blood, mostly from my own wounds opening up agonizingly. Do we follow him into the Fade? Do we go after him? Can we end this now?
Is our Cohen and Rourke?
Yep, Cohen and
Are they
Rourke
still standing?
They're still there. Everybody is
Aldo?
still standing. Aldo looks like he's been wounded slightly, but he's doing all right. And Ashara she's white as a ghost. And making her way over to Imogen.
He's gone into the Fade. Who was that?
I was Imogen's father, and I turned to Imogen. Why'd you walk away from him? You had nothing to say? Speak, boy. No one can hear you. Clear your goddamn throat.
He wasn't a father. He's no man's father. He's a worm, a waste. He disgusts me.
I don't blame you for what you did, Imogen. I don't blame you for leaving it all, but Penth might be right. We might have to go into the Fade.
Why? I mean, Cohen said that if we destroy the anchors, and I point to the 5 people standing around it.
There's only 4 left after I've killed one of them.
Yeah,
Fair
one
enough.
of them's lying on the ground, legless.
If we kill the 4 anchors, then the portal seals and he's trapped in the Fade, no?
We'll have to do it quickly. He said that he only needed one more sacrifice. I think he intended it for it to be me, but I don't know.
Could he find another sacrifice? What if we go into the portal and someone dies and that's the last sacrifice?
I believe she's insinuating, says Aldo, that he might intend to be the last sacrifice himself.
So then I guess we have no choice.
What if we get in there and kill him before he can sacrifice himself? Then we need to get out, destroy this pillar, and we're done with it.
Once he's dead, there is a chance that the portal will close. This is Cohen speaking. If we all go in, and he is part of the anchor that holds that portal in place, we won't get out.
Then it is settled. I'll go. And I take a step towards the portal.
Am I not also an anchor?
It's possible.
And we've discussed this before. If anyone is to kill me, then they then become the anchor themselves. My whole life I've been fighting this darkness. But as I see in my father, I am the darkness.
And there's a silence over the group.
And I take out a dagger.
I stop you. I say, hold on.
You know it's the only way. I'm the
That's
only one.
not. No, we don't know that. What we know is whoever kills you, Grindelwald comes into them.
Right.
What if we kill him inside the Fade?
Well,
Not that I want to kill you, Imogen, but as a potential solution, would he not be stuck in the Fade also? We close the door. Grindelwald is trapped there. There's no connection to the outside.
Cohen said that if we kill Grindelwald in the Fade, that Imogen will be fine, that he'll remove himself from you. Did he not?
But he also said that Grindelwald is a god and he doesn't think it's possible for us to kill him.
There is a way that I can find out, that we can enter the Fade, and if Rael is to be found, I can intuit whether or not he is an anchor. But I'd have to go in. And you would have to fend off whatever we encounter in there. Or we can risk it. We can close the portal now and hope that Rael doesn't have a way of opening it again if he does choose to sacrifice himself.
But can they open it from the inside? If they can open it from the inside, wouldn't Grindelwald have come through the Fade eons ago?
No. He needs someone to direct it. He would have needed Rael. And unless there's someone else who has the same ambition as Rael, it doesn't seem likely that anyone would come along in a while.
And yet it won't take long. You've seen the state of the elves. Why wouldn't they wish this? Any one of them that lives in the slums could aspire to this.
But do they have the powers of your father? Do they know the things he knows? I think your father is a rare breed. And I do wish I could have had a chance to speak with him.
And as I'm have my hand at Imogen, I slowly just take the dagger out of his hand.
I will go in there and drag him back out if that's what needs be. Just tell me the word. Let's stop the speaking. Let's stop the talking. I need to go in there.
We need to think, Pent. If we go in there and die, we could be the sacrifice that's needed to bring Grindelwald into this world. If Imogen kills himself and spills blood on this ground, it could bring Grindelwald to the world. There is any number of things here that, if done wrong, could end the world. We need to be thoughtful here.
Including spending too much time thinking. The longer we discuss this, the more time he has to do whatever he needs to do.
Fair enough.
Let
And
me
let's
go
do
in
this.
there. I'll get Rael. Then we have time to speak.
No, we'll all go in there.
And then what if it closes? We all are stuck there, stranded.
So be it. And I walk towards the portal.
I stand in front of Grinner. What are you doing, Grinner? You have no place being in there.
I'm following you in.
You're following me in. Why? Because you care so much.
Pent, it's not just about you and me anymore. If
No, it's
Grindelwald
not.
comes through this portal, it's the end of everything. And I turn to Imogen as I say this. The elves in their slums, the humans in Ferelden, the Avarian people in the hills, they're all done. And if it's just our lives at stake versus every life in this world, it's a worthy wager.
And I walk up to them. Then I should come too. Should not the anchor go back to from whence it came?
And
Very well.
Ashara, you feel Ashara's hand on your shoulder, and you turn, and her face is covered in grit, and her hair is a mess, and she looks noticeably exhausted. But she says, "I've had an idea, Imogen. If I follow you into the Fade physically, and I'm physically there with you, not just mentally and spiritually, I may be able to undo the work that has attached this to you. This curse that is on you. I may be able to lift it." And so this portal presents us an opportunity.
Then let us do it.
Okay.
Let us go forth.
Alzombra steps forward and says, "I will join you into the darkness."
Good.
And
I turn to Cohen and Rourke.
do you want us to come, really?
You do understand what happens if we fail.
I guess so.
And you
Nice.
do understand that, for all intents and purposes, Grindelwald is described as a god.
And you do understand what happens if we succeed, Cohen. You'll be known as a god killer, a god slayer. You seek power on this earth? What better is there than fame, reputation, fear?
You know little, young boy. Fame isn't what I look for. In fact, I revel in not being known. But very well, you've made your points. Rourke, shall we? Rourke grunts and nods. And all that's left is Aldo Lancaster. And he seems to be contemplating something, but he says, "For the good of Ferelden, for the good of all of Thedas, let's do this." He begins walking towards you.
All right. And we stand before the portal. And we step in.
Immediately, you feel your body.
And I push
surge.
Penta. No.
And I step back up and I go back in. Stupid guy.
You feel a surge of energy course through your body, and it feels as though your limbs are being stretched and your soul is being pulled and contorted, and you don't know which way is up, which way is down. And it isn't as though you see colors, but it's almost like when you press against your eyes really hard for a long time and you see kind of like fireworks. That sort of feeling just encompasses your vision. And before you know it, you are still feeling like you're floating, but you're still you're in the clearing, and it's still nighttime. But when you turn your head, your vision registering the others, you see that their forms blur as your vision turns. And muffled, you hear the sound of a man shouting, "Gildarin, Eyasandalia Fnoria."
Do I see the blurred figure that's shouting this?
So not too far away in the clearing, maybe 30 feet away, you see a man on his knees wearing blood red robes. Okay.
The minute if I can hear something, I fire at him.
And I run at him to cut his head off.
Okay, and Imogen, what do you do?
I think my arrow will get there first, Pen.
We'll see.
Cool.
I'm actually more trying to feel it. I feel like being in the Fade again, I would feel the presence and try to get a sense of direction from that.
Okay, so go ahead and do a magic roll.
Where's my die?
Passion sits. Put it on the Ritz.
Woo!
Super duper.
Super duper. 9-14.
14. Okay, you can feel it. You're not sure from where, but the presence, this great sense of fear and disturbance, is writhing not within you anymore. You can feel it, you can sense it outside of you. Being physically in the Fade, you actually you feel like it's been put on the outside of you. These feelings have been inverted, but you can sense it out there, and you can almost see clouds of where this spirit will be coming from. And you feel again Ashara's hand on your shoulder as she says, "It's no longer within you. Where is it, Imogen?" And as this is happening, Grinner, you are firing at the man.
Damn. With aiming, which would be 8. So 9, 18.
Okay. So your arrow flies through the air and creates a spiral of smoke or
Misty
smoke. Yeah. And it shoots past Penth, who is charging towards the man.
But then I catch up. That's right.
It pierces the man in the back, and he
I aim for the fucking head.
It hits him in the back because everything's wonky in the Fade. And he kind of lurches forward, but continues to yell even louder in a language that you do not understand. Penth, you continue to run towards it.
I just run up and baseball swing straight to his spine with the great axe that came from Nikoru.
Okay.
I got 14.
Okay. You kill him. Describe how.
So severing his spine into 2 pieces, I see the arrow bend him over, and I see his vertebrae exposed, and I cut into it. I hear crunch as the great axe sinks into his flesh. And I sit there, and I don't feel satisfied. I feel as if that was too easy. I look back at Imogen and Grinner, waiting for something else.
Everything is still and calm. And Imogen, as soon as you see your father collapse to the ground, Penth's axe slicing clean through him. First off, how do you feel watching your father collapse to the ground?
I don't feel like I should. I thought, knowing that my father was the source of my darkness, I thought I would feel purer, cleaner. And yet I don't. And I'm confused. I've got mixed emotions. I mean, I just finally saw him again after this many years to find out this is who he is. And yet Grinner and Penth have been more of a father to me in just a couple months than this man has ever been.
Okay. You hear Cohen speak up, almost distantly through the Fade. Well, the portal is still open. It looks like we've done what we need to do.
I aim at Cohen.
What are you doing?
And I say, you know what I'm doing.
You hear and feel a rumble.
And I'm waiting to watch his face. Does it do anything?
It doesn't. In fact, you seem to sense his eyebrows furrow, and he looks like he's getting ready, is gritting his teeth and clenching his jaw, when it seems that he feels the sound or feels the vibrations and hears the sound as well. And he begins looking around. And Imogen, you notice Ashara takes her hand off of your shoulder and begins looking around as you notice that sense of fear, that sense of disturbance all around you that was once within you is gone. It is dissipated. And in a low, droning voice, you hear someone speak in your heads. That will suffice. And you hear a pounding thud as the trees before you begin to crack and sway. And you see something large moving through the canopy towards you. First off, what's going through your minds?
Well,
Well,
good
first
job
off-
of us sacrificing.
Oh, yeah.
Oops.
Didn't think that far ahead. Well, I was only pinning him to the ground. No, my
I
logic
was
with
trying to
Cohen.
split him in two, but
Just
I
to
didn't think that was
Just to
sacrifice.
explain my logic with Cohen, I thought because when we entered the fade, they said Ashara said Grindelwald had left Imogen, and I thought because Cohen was the first person to say, "Well, let's get out of here," I thought Grindelwald was hiding in him because my logic is Grindelwald wants to leave the fade. That's why I was like, because I kind of thought he was the one who was going to be the host. I figured Grindelwald knew. Clearly, I was wrong. I'm okay with that. So what are we looking at? Sorry, there's a
We heard just giant steps coming towards us and rumbling, very similar to my dream that I had, and I'm starting to feel a certain unease in the pit of my stomach as I feel we are facing a dragon for the real.
Crackling trees, branches of trees crack and bend, shooting through the air like thunder. And Penth, you're thinking about your dream right now?
Yes, and I think I don't have the confidence I had in the dream. I feel the fear that I had. We cannot stay here. We are not ready.
And you see Alzombra.
You just want to come in here. Said you could do everything.
I'm ready to die, Grinner. I'm ready to die. Is it fair that everybody else will?
Well, you go. I'll wait here. Let me know how you do.
Seriously. So Alzombra speaks up and says, do we stay and fight or do we go? Do we close the portal? Aldo says, I fear that if we all leave, it'll be able to follow us out before we manage to destroy it.
I'll stay. Go. There's nothing for me out there anymore.
We all stay and we all fight.
Close the portal. If we fail, then the world is over. But if
we don't fail, Pent, it's not an option. And I arm an arrow.
Grinner, this god is more powerful than all of us combined. You know it to be true. Ashara says, yes, it is. We cannot all fight it at once. Imogen, you felt the power within you.
What is it like? Is there like an opening in the rift in the fade that we can still see?
Yes, yeah. It's more of a rip now than it is a portal, but you can easily step through it. It flickers somewhat from possibly the...
Someone needs to go
I feel like...
and close the portal before that, and I point to where the sound's coming from, gets into the world and destroys it.
I feel like you are right, Ashara. The three of us started this. We will finish it. The rest of you go.
Imogen, I'm not leaving you here, Imogen. You're too young. You have to come with me.
I'll grab her and kiss her.
What the hell are you doing?
Enough.
This isn't a time for that.
Go. Save yourself. There's no time for this.
And okay, Grinner, what are you thinking?
Because we still need people to take out the other casters, keeping the portal open.
Well, I think
That's
it's
why we
kind
need
of,
the rest of them to go.
yeah, but we got to do one. You guys wanted to fight to the death, so let's fight to the death, all of us. And I think we can take it. Can you not cast a healing spell on? You know what? Fuck it. I'll leave. I don't give a shit. No, you know what I'll do? I'll say fine. But what I'll do is I'm going to, I think, okay, you're right. We need to seal the portal. So I'm going to jump out, fire at the casters, kill them and jump back in before the portal's closing. Hopefully that'll have time. That's going to be my goal. But I'll tell them that I'm closing.
Okay, so this is what will happen. So you guys are in the Fade right now, and there is a god in dragon form that if it gets through the portal, it will be able to wreak havoc on Thedas.
Yeah.
Now, if you leave and you destroy the casters, you will close that portal.
Yeah.
God will exist.
Anybody who's there, trapping anybody who's still in the Fade with whatever it is you're fighting. Now you are welcome to, it's very heat of the moment right now, so I don't want to guide you guys too much. But
if those are the black and whites of it, and that's what we know, then yeah, I wouldn't stay. I would turn to Imogen. I'd say, Imogen, I understand you feel like you need to stay, but you do not need to die for this, for Grindelwald. He's already taken so much from you. And all he is going to take from you, if you stay, is your life and nothing else. Leave with me.
Imogen?
I turn back to look at the oncoming form, soil myself a little, and follow Grinner as I have done many times in the past.
And I turn to Penth as I'm walking towards the portal, and I turn back and I say, you honestly think that you can take him?
No, I don't. And I run out towards him.
To Grindelwald?
Yep.
So
now looking at Penth go and looking at Grinner.
And I grab Imogen and I jump out the portal with him.
No! No!
So you step through the portal and immediately everything starts to feel heavy. Your arms begin to ache, and again, in an instant, you are back on your knees in front of the portal. You hear...
And on my knees, I just let the arrows fly and pick off the other guys, because it's like not difficult. They're just staying there.
Well, you see Ashara step through behind you, and Cohen and Rourke also step through, and Lancaster as well.
Yeah, that's fine. They can leave if they want.
But that's it. Penth, you run towards the hulking mass, and you sense someone behind you. And you turn your head just in time to see El Zombra running behind you. His dagger's drawn, actually his rapier drawn. And he nods at you and gives you a coy smile and turns back to the forest line.
As I run, I speak to him. I say, it's suiting that I would have someone such as yourself fight along my side after all that I've done.
I am a man who seeks adventure, nothing more. I have no place for pride in my heart. And this, and he gestures toward the tree line, is the greatest adventure of a lifetime, my friend.
I nod and I say, this is the greatest end to a lifetime. And I keep running towards the beast.
You run towards the tree line as you can feel the vibrations of this massive beast move closer and closer to you. And a head emerges from the tree line, quickly lashing up. We're only 10 meters or so away from you. A huge lizard-like face with a purple tongue and purple ichor streaming down its jaw, and huge black wings shrouded in black mist surround it as it flaps and goes to slash at you. And as it's slashing towards you with its claws, what do you do, Penth?
I stand ready. I stand firm, ready to take whatever blow comes.
Okay. And the blow comes as we go to Grinner and Imogen, catching their breath in front of the portal.
And then I let an arrow fly at each of the...
It's no problem. Your arrows find their targets true. And as soon as your last arrow pierces the last of them, the portal flickers.
I want to turn around and I want to see as much as I can as Penth. I'm going to be holding Imogen, like while we both watch the portal closing and the last view of Penth fighting the thing.
Okay. So as you stare through into the portal, you see Penth take a swing at the dragon. So go ahead, Penth, for your attack.
I don't want to take a swing at the dragon.
No, you just want to defend?
Yeah, I'm not here to kill this dragon. I was just here to stop them from getting to the other world as the others escaped.
Okay. Well, in that case, Grinner, you see the large claw of the dragon sweep down, and Penth is enveloped in shadow. As
I hold
the portal
Imogen,
closed.
as I'm sure he's trying to fight me-ish, or
Absolutely.
and as I see the dragon sort of envelop him, I turn around and I hug Imogen, and I kind of turn his face away from it as I still watch the portal. I'm like, "Don't watch. It's gonna be fine." This is
But I'm
single
watching
cue.
anyway.
Mhm. So, Penth, you feel the claw reach you, and you can feel its impact. And as it slashes through your rib cage and into your vital organs, and the cloud of black mist envelops you, you have a thought. Something crosses your mind. A vision, a thought, an idea. What do you see?
I'm comforted to know that the one thing that has stayed constant, the one thing that I am connected to all things, whether from the Frost Mountains or the lowlands to Grinner to Imogen, to the things I've killed, to the things that have tried to kill me. I have one thing in common, and now that thing in common still stays true. Even if the people I trust lie to me, even if the family I trust sent someone to kill me, death is constant. And I'm reassured by that.
And as this reassurance rises up, a light contrast in the pain that is racking your body, you feel that reassurance, and everything goes black. The portal closes. And again, you're kneeling before a monument, a stone. All the cultists are dead. Bodies are strewn around, and your fellow survivors are gathered around you, catching their breaths and looking to the ground.
Let's not forget what he did here. All of us. And I turn to Cohen and Rourke. And how did they look?
Rourke doesn't seem. It's hard to tell. I want you to do a, I guess, an insight roll. Perception.
I don't see anything.
Okay. It's hard to tell in the darkness and the stress of everything. You haven't known Rourke very well. He seems stoic about the whole thing. Cohen seems to be sitting or kneeling casually, not really. He doesn't seem overly phased, but he does seem thoughtful. Lancaster is catching his breath, and his wound from the earlier battle seems to be acting up. And Ashara, once she's caught her breath, she steps next to him and begins to tend it.
And I stand up and I say, all right, I think we're done here. And I help Imogen up. And I turn to him and I say, don't Don't discredit his sacrifice. Know that what he did was what he wanted to do. You can't blame yourself for any of this. And Imogen, if you blame yourself, you're only making his sacrifice less important. It was his choice, and he did what he always felt he needed to do.
And I look back to where the rift was, the portal was. And I look at Grinner. And I turn and just start walking away.
And I gather my things, and I leave as well.
And as you walk away, you hear the others begin to compose themselves and stand and go to follow you. And you hear Cohen stop. And he says, actually, there's one order of business that still needs to be taken care of. Rourke? And
as he says this, I just sort of tentatively tighten my grip on my bow.
Mm-hmm. And you turn around to see Rourke behind Aldo Lancaster, warhammer in hand. He brings his hammer down right on Lancaster's head, smashing it and sending the man forward. Ashara cries out and backs up, and he takes it again and sets another smash into the man's head as he lies on the ground, cracking his helmet and his skull as the man lies there still.
Jesus Christ.
And Cohen, flecked with blood, he wipes his forehead and says, I wouldn't let an opportunity like that pass. The order wouldn't stand for it. And he takes his green orb and begins to roll it in his hands and says, I have no issues with any of you, though.
You do what you need to do. And I turn around and I look to Imogen and I say, let that be a reminder that just because people might be like you, they don't have the same values as you. Because I'm looking for Imogen's sort of reaction to this. Because this was sort of what Imogen had been like, you know, fed into with Cohen's ideas and stuff like that. How do you feel with such a visceral reaction?
I was going to say, Imogen already walked away.
Oh.
He left.
Oh.
Sorry.
Then I'm fine with
it. But yeah, I walked away. I'm done with it. Done with it all.
Well, then I point at the body and say, that's the thing, that don't let that happen. It's still a teaching lesson. And you know what? I back away from Cohen. I say, as far as I concerned, we're done. And I catch up with Imogen. And as I'm walking, I say, Imogen, you're still young yet. You still have a lot to learn, a lot to grow. But I'm proud of you. I know that the man who birthed you was never a father to you. And I'm not trying to be that. And I know Pent wasn't trying to be that.
Then
but
don't. And just go, Brenner. Just leave me.
And Ashara catches up to you guys. Ashara catches up to you guys. And she looks very shaken and concerned, but she doesn't say anything. She just follows you, Imogen.
And I stop walking as Imogen says that to me. And I kind of just stop walking as I continue forward. And I kind of look up at them walking off and him in his state right now. And I kind of think, my work here is done. What I came out to do was make sure Imogen was all right. So I leave, but a different direction without saying goodbye.
And I actually pay Ashara no heed. I continue on ignoring her.
Okay. So not far away, perched atop a high branch of one of the several limber oaks of the Tirashan, is a raven. And its pearly black eyes peer down at the parting friends below. And as they've gathered their items and leave and walk their different ways, the raven notices that one of them is familiar. The man who stands alone, the elven friends leaving him. The raven cocks its head and looks down at this man, who is very familiar. And the familiar-looking man gazes up toward the raven, sensing something, and instinctively, as Grinner's eyes land on the roosted bird, it takes flight. It flaps its wings, gaining speed, flying just above the canopy of the dense trees of the Tirashan, the clear night giving way to a heavy fog as the raven enters the marshes. It reaches a small town and swoops down to rest for a moment on a window of a small shack. It is a town called Bleakwater. One of the shutters of this particular house is off its hinges, and the raven can see clearly into the fire-lit living area. Before the fire lies a large animal, a dog. It rests on its side, its chest rising and falling despite the bandages wrapped tightly around it, dark crimson of the bloody wound it conceals, staining the white fabric. The raven twists its head and gazes at the two others in the room. A woman stands behind the counter, stirring ingredients in a bowl. At the table sits a boy who rocks back and forth. The boy whispers something, and with keen ears, the raven is able to make out the words he speaks. Banished to the shadow realm, Grindelwald, Grindelwald. The Théoden land did overwhelm, Grindelwald, Grindelwald. For now his power shan't be drawn until another vengeful dawn. Grindelwald, Grindelwald, Grindelwald is... He hesitates, and his rocking ceases. With a clarity in his voice that he has not spoken with in months, he finishes the poem. Gone. He lifts his head and looks to the woman in the kitchen, recognition in his eyes. Mother? The woman stops stirring. She raises her eyes and stares at the boy who, with a bewildered expression, stares back at her. And after a beat, she drops the wooden bowl. It lands with a thud and a splash, spilling its contents. As she runs to her son's side, he was back. Her boy was finally back. For the past 3 months, she called him by another name, a name not his own. She couldn't bear to call him by his given name. The name of his father, who had disappeared several months before. She kneels before the boy and locks him in a desperate embrace. Tears streaming down her face now. She chokes out the name she hadn't spoken in months. Gilbert. Oh, Gil. The fog having cleared somewhat, the raven takes flight once more, this time heading south. After some time, it reaches the majestic city of Val Royeaux, flying low, twisting and diving around the tall structures and lush estates. It reaches the harbor, still flying low, and causes a man to stumble back to avoid a collision. Dane Rooker composes himself and takes a moment to watch the reckless bird as it speeds over the water. As it disappears into the dim light of a breaking dawn, he can't help but think of his good friend and the company he kept. He hopes dearly to see them again. After a brief moment of contemplation, he shakes his head and continues back to the Gateway Inn. As the sun rises over the glistening waters of the shining sea, the raven continues south. It reaches another town, the town of Leeds, and soars over a large estate, gazing down on the property. The owner of the estate stands alone before a gravestone. Fresh cut flowers accent the grave, and Renner, donning a long winter coat, keeps his head down. He has come here every day since the incident, and hopes beyond hope that the demon responsible has been put to rest. The raven then veers east, toward the Frostback Mountains, where a dense storm cloud has formed. Before long, it has reached the mountain range, navigating the many pits and valleys through the thick snowfall. It passes over an encampment where the leader of its residing clan stands before a stone amulet, a stone the Emir people refer to as the Anima, the official list of all Emir warriors who have served and perished. Sagari doesn't see the crow fly overhead. As the sun sets behind the dense clouds, she stares at the tablet, her gaze resting on one name in particular. In the torchlight, she suddenly draws in a deep breath, then brings up her arm, stone in hand, to scratch out the name Penth arete o terrell. Through the falling snow, the raven continues east, over the sprawling fields of the Banorn and Southron hills. It flies over 2 particular farmhouses, one standing but long abandoned, and its neighbor burnt and collapsed to the ground, its charred remains resting under a heavy blanket of snow. The raven soars quickly past the farms and soon approaches the sprawling city of Denerim. It twists and flaps between the city's towering buildings and adjusts its course toward a solitary whistle sounding through the night. Not far away, a hooded figure stands under a street lamp, its flame flickering in the snowy wind. There is no one apart from him in the intersection. The snow accumulates on his hood, and a raven, its long voyage now over, perches itself on the man's shoulder. He has a young, clean-shaven face, and he does not look up as the grinner lands. Instead, he brings his hand up to his shoulder and opens it under the bird. The raven begins to contort and compress, and in a moment it is transformed completely into a glowing purple crystal orb. It rolls down his shoulder and lands softly in his hand. He brings it around front of him and begins to walk, gazing into it. After turning into a dark street, he stops again. Thick snowflakes fall calmly around him, colored mauve by the glow of the orb. The street is silent, save for the occasional howling wind. His youthful eyes, as he peers into the orb, then widen with recognition. In a soft voice that shoots a small cloud of fog into the frigid winter air, he whispers, "Grinner." The end of Dragon Age 2.
What? Wow, what an ending, Justin. Well done. Some epic level shit going on there. Sounds like it's going to be a hard intro into Dragon Age 3, which I am excited about. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out. This has been Dragon Age Part 2. Dragon Age 2. Let's do one more. Dragon Age 3 will have to have a subtitle like Inquisition. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you must have questions, queries, comments for our handsome GM and maybe some players. If you do, go ahead and find the event tab on the Facebook group and post your questions there, because we are going to end this video and start almost immediately back up with the post-game discussion, where we are going to talk about everything in this campaign that you want to know. Well, everything that won't ruin what might be coming in the future, where you can share your thoughts, comments, concerns, all that kind of stuff. And no, we'll do it now, Justin. That makes more sense.
What? Oh, do it now?
Yeah, because this is the end of Dragon Age.
Okay, yes.
But I do want to say, so yeah, go ahead and post your questions there in your event section, or in the event section, and I'm going to be reading them off for these guys. And it's going to be a much more chill hangout back in about 5 minutes, and I'll post the link on the thing. It's also in the description of this video, so if you want to watch that. But because Dragon Age is now done, Justin Thomas James.
Well, I just want to say that I had a fantastic time GMing you three gentlemen. It's amazing to see you guys role playing under me, and just like the level of detail that you put into your characters, and they've come so far.
Like little children.
Yeah, so I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank everybody for watching, being such a supportive community, and like giving me so many ideas. Like, you guys fed me a lot of inspiration, especially at the beginning, like when I was still formulating everything. So thank you all very much for watching. If you're watching this right now live, then thank you for watching live. Like, I think that's so cool that you made it all the way to episode 10, like live. Love it. But anyways, my time as GM is coming to a close, and as per Invictus tradition, it is time for the passing of the feather. That is the perfect use of that sound effect.
It really is.
Oh,
the only use of that sound effect.
I take this GM feather bequeathed upon me from
Aisha and Bob.
Well, Aisha and Bob, but the last person to GM was Christopher, I do believe. And before that, it was bequeathed unto Christopher from Sir Michael. And before that, bequeathed unto Sir Michael from yada yada.
Me again.
You again. And the cycle continues and it continues. And now I bequeath it unto you, Sir Harlan Guthrie.
Oh, wait. Thank you. Look at that. And it's even got the red tip. That was cool how you changed the color as we passed it. I will wear it with pride. I don't think I've gotten to do a campaign yet with the feathers. I think the feathers came after Strange.
Yeah.
I believe so. So this is my first feather campaign, which will be grim. Thank you, Justin. And again, fantastic job. We are going to be back with the post-game discussion, which the video link is now posted on the Facebook group page, as well as in the description of this video. So if you have questions, make sure you post them in the event. Good night, and thank you for being with us for 10 parts. Woo! And as Chris always likes to say,
We'll see you around the table.
see you around the table, guys. Good night.